All right, now I can hear myself. Holy fuck. I can't believe I was talking like all that time just without having my microphone on. Jesus Christ. Absolutely embarrassing. Okay, let's take this from the top. Huh? What do you guys say?
Hello.
Good to see you, man.
I think that mass deportation of 25 million immigrants is inhumane, and I would like to ask you how you would do that and go about that. Or
Yes.
if you even agree with that.
So I do agree with the mass deportation of anybody who's in this country illegally, obviously. You gotta.
I do. I do agree with the mass deportation of anyone who is here illegally. I don't know if Vivek really understands how mass deportations work, but typically, legally or illegally doesn't really make a difference when you're talking about mass deportations. You're kind of just throwing in a net, and whoever gets caught in it, and sayonara, motherfuckers.
Draw the distinction between illegal and legal immigration. So here's the thing, and I say that.
That's a weird distinction to make when the Trump administration wants to cut back on legal immigration. So like, why bring that up? Why bring that up? The illegal immigration and the legal immigration to MAGA are one and the same. They don't want to have immigrants in this country. As a matter of fact, on Meet the Press, just a couple days ago, Trump brought up how he wants to make the end of birthright citizenship one of his administration's policy priorities. You know, and the only reason a person would want to end birthright citizenship would be to more easily deport that person, you know, or a person rather. So the legal, illegal immigration, you know, I'm only for the mass deportation of illegals. Well, dude, your boss was on Meet the Press just the other day talking about how actually American citizens are also on the chopping block. So your little distinction between legal and illegal doesn't really matter. You don't really give a fuck about that. Trump doesn't really give a fuck about that.
This is the kid of legal immigrants to this country. Your first
Cool,
act
dude.
of entering
You're
this country
a traitor
cannot break
to
the law.
immigrants, then.
And if you're a lawbreaker, you need to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law when it comes.
Immigrants crossing the border seeking asylum, by the way, is not breaking the law. They have, until they're actually here and they're like committing a crime, some type of violent crime, a property crime of some sorts, simply just arriving at the border or entering the country itself does not qualify as breaking the law. I'm quite sure that these people need to be able to at least reach a port of entry in order to try and claim asylum, you know, or they have to be able to reach a city. But see, Republicans don't even want to give them that opportunity. They don't even want to give them that opportunity to be able to claim asylum. As a matter of fact, it would benefit Republicans to not address that issue at all and to just leave all these asylum seekers, you know, get backed up in the system. So that way then they actually are just here illegally because they're so backed up they can't get a court case, they can't get a date to make their claim for a judge to determine if they're here under like worthwhile circumstances. You know, Trump and Republicans would actually rather this, because then they could just say, you know, brushing it all under the rug, oh yeah, all these people are here illegally, I don't got to think about it, let's just deport all of them. It's just a very, very simple, you know, very simple answers, you know, not complicated at all for any of these people. You know, who cares what families get ruined? Who cares about the human cost of any of this? It matters not.
Comes to illegal immigration. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you. Thank you. I think that our legal immigration process takes way too long, and it motivates people to come here illegally. It takes, on average, about 10 years.
If we don't like the law, so I'm not gonna push you. There's a lot that's broken with our legal immigration system in all directions.
Sure.
That is not an excuse for breaking the law to enter this country. Okay.
I just really quickly, because like I think this is fucking hilarious. You know, coming from Vivek, who's the child of legal immigrants. Uh, it's so funny because it's like not even, you don't even have to look very far. Trump restricted legal immigration in his first term. Will it happen again? Trump's changes to legal immigration didn't grab many headlines, but they affected people and U.S. businesses, and some warn a second term could have more ripple effects. Former President Donald Trump's focus on the border and his ongoing vow to launch the biggest domestic deportation operation have dominated the political discourse on immigration this election cycle, but legal immigration is also in play in a potential second Trump term, with the announcement of some drastic cuts to foreign workers. Trump's record on immigration, as well as his playbook of proposals called Project 2025, spearheaded by Conservative Heritage Foundation with input from former Trump administration officials, offer a good idea of what could be in store for non-citizens who have come to the U.S. or are trying to come through legal means. So, I mean, this is par for the course, right? Republicans are going to tell you one thing, and then, the second they turn around, they're going to do the opposite or say the opposite, and vice versa. And these are not people who have any real values. These are not people who actually care about anything. These are not people who really believe in anything. The only thing that they actually believe in, the only thing that they actually care about is causing harm to the other group. That's it. That's it. It makes them feel like they're superior. It makes them feel like they're better or something, whatever it is. But what people like Vivek fail to understand is, dude, your name is Vivek. I hate to break it to you, my guy, but you are going to be on that deportation plane to India or wherever it is that you're from. Okay? Like, it's not just about... It's not just about the Mexicans, buddy. You're brown too. So the second Trump is done with you, the second you have fulfilled your purpose, you have served your purpose, it's sayonara, motherfucker, to you too. All right? That is what we just read. This is for Vivek. This is for Vivek. You're also on the chopping block, but you're too dumb to understand that. You're too dumb to see, that you're walking yourself to the firing squad.
I'll tell you what's inhumane. Fentanyl pouring across our southern border, killing the kids of including the young mother who actually asked that question earlier.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry for her loss. Obviously,
most of the fentanyl that comes into the country by American citizens. I'm sure that there are illegal immigrants or whatever the fuck it is, cartels that do bring it in, but the vast majority of the fentanyl that we have in this country that comes over the Mexican border comes by American citizens. So I hate to break it to you, Vivek, but no wall's gonna fix that, dude. No wall's gonna fix some fucking gringo with a blue passport coming back and forth, bringing all the illicit drugs that he wants, because to you guys it could never be him. It's gonna be fucking Jose trying to come over to this country to make a better life for himself and his family. That's who you guys are looking for. You're not paying attention to the everyday Joe, because I don't know. I guess like I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually at a loss for that one. Like, I don't want to sound like all like woke. I know that's like a scary word for Republicans and conservatives. But damn, it just kind of gives me the feeling like you guys are racist. I don't know.
Not in
and it's a consequence of the border policies.
No, can I tell you something?
Do you agree with that?
No, it's
you
not.
don't agree it's a consequence of the border policies?
No, I don't.
It's a consequence of the drug war. Okay, you want to combat fentanyl, and not just fentanyl, but like drugs in general. You have to end the drug war. All right, the drug war is what empowers cartels. It's what allows these illegal organizations to create a black market for a product that is unregulated, unsupervised. There's basically nothing that we can do to stop it with the drug war raging the way that we have it right now. This is not sustainable. If we want to control and reduce fentanyl in this country, the way to do that is to end the drug war. That's it.
Believe that. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Because about 88% of the fentanyl that is coming in through the Mexican border is from legal immigrants or legal American citizens, and that's a
By
fact.
the cartels that have left it open.
No, that's not cartels.
It's cartel. It absolutely is.
Look it up.
It's a network. It's synthetic.
This is great. Look, this is from the Cato Institute, okay? This is a right-wing think tank. U.S. citizens were 80% of crossers with fentanyl at ports of entry from 2019 to 2024. Many people wrongly believe that immigration is critical to the illicit supply of fentanyl in the United States. However, proponents of this view have offered little more than speculation to support it. New data obtained by the Cato Institute via a Freedom of Information Act request calls this belief into question. The new data set shows that U.S. citizens comprised 80% of individuals caught with fentanyl during border crossings at ports of entry from 2019 to 2024. The FOIA data set contains individual records regarding each person encountered by officials at U.S. ports of entry from whom fentanyl was seized. Figure 1 shows the citizenship of individuals arrested with fentanyl from fiscal year 2019 to 2024 as of June. Overall, the data set reveals that out of 7,569 individuals associated with a fentanyl seizure, 6,123 were U.S. citizens, or 80.9%. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, look, 80% is obviously the vast majority, but when you see the numbers like that, that is fucking insane. Like, just to hear the total numbers, right? And just to see in total numbers how many were actually U.S. citizens compared to immigrants. Wild. Fucking wild.
Synthetic fentanyl. It's not even actual like original fentanyl. It's synthetic fentanyl made by Mexican drug cartels transported by our southern border across the Rio Grande.
Whatever it is, I urge everyone to look.
Cool, bro. That's like all American citizens bringing it over. So I guess, I don't know, like ban vacations or something. See how well that goes.
Get up right now. 80% of the fentanyl coming over the Mexican border is from legal American citizens.
So let's just talk about the 20%. That's still enough to kill 20,000 Americans
obviously,
every year.
I don't agree with. Again, I'm
Cool.
not trying to say I'm in support of anyone.
Yeah, look, this kid, I mean, look, he's being overwhelmed right now because, you know, Vivek, he has the profile, the celebrity. He's really the one there. I mean, this kid has a mic, but the one that, you know, all these people, this crowd is there for is Vivek. You know, he's controlling the environment, right? So this kid is probably like a little overwhelmed, but the way that he's answering this is totally correct. Like, so yeah, the 20,000 or what did Vivek say? The 20% it can still come in and kill 20,000 Americans. True, bro, but I don't support that. And that's not like the main issue then. If we're saying, if we see a problem, right? We're talking about fentanyl. And we say, hey, look, this is 80% of the issue, right? And we can solve this by, like, as I said before, ending the drug war, or we could not do that. Say we'll address the 20% instead of the 80%, and probably still do the drug war, and we're gonna probably try to build a wall, which won't solve the issue because most of the people bringing fentanyl into the country anyway are American citizens. So, like, you know, the wall's not going to stop them from crossing over. Oh, wait, but actually maybe it will, because Trump wants to end birthright citizenship. So, like, what the fuck is an American citizen anyway? Right? Like, I see what they're doing now. I get it.
One dying. I'm not saying that.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If somebody breaks the law, should they be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law?
Well, I think if an illegal immigrant comes over here and they break the law and kill an American citizen, they should be deported.
Do you agree that there are people who should be able to enter this country based on merit who are unable to enter it today?
Yeah, because of our policies. Yeah.
And so is it fair that some...
Wait, should people be allowed to enter the country based on merit? Isn't that like sort of like the case already? Like what exactly? Dude, what kind of a person are we thinking is typically able to make a intercontinental trip with themselves and their entire families and then just like start over? Like what class of person are we thinking of exactly? Because if we're talking like Vivek understands that there's a difference between like a family flying over and like being like, hey, like there's a job opportunity in the US and I'm gonna just bring my whole family over there and whatever, like, you know, we got some money saved up and it'll be good. Like there's a difference between that person and then like the person who is running away from persecution, or you know, they're in some type of danger or something, right? And they're showing up and trying to claim asylum, right? Like that's a different issue. That's a different thing. Do we think Vivek understands that? Or I mean, probably not, right? Like he probably, you know, because Vivek is like not exactly the brightest person in the world.
Somebody who entered this country illegally is now somehow being rewarded with the benefits of this country when people who tried to follow the law are the ones penalized. Is that humane?
They're not getting illegal immigrants can't get Medicare.
Illegal immigrants are absolutely getting government assistance.
No, they're not.
Wait,
They're
not. They're not.
So
Illegal immigrants do not qualify for government assistance other than, I think, like WIC, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's like the only government program that an illegal citizen can take advantage of. But there is no such thing as an illegal immigrant who is on Medicare. Like, what is this guy talking about? How would they even go about getting that?
So, illegal immigrants are staying.
What?
There's
Coming over the border?
So I'll tell you right now. I got my first job. I got my first job in New York City in 2007. It was in the eve of the 08 crisis. When my parents would come to town, there would be hotels that we could not afford to have my own family stay in to visit me as a natural-born citizen of this country that are now being used to house illegal immigrants in the city of New York. There's government aid left and right. I went to the south side of Chicago, traditionally a left-leaning region.
Wait, so because Vivek couldn't afford to be at a hotel however many years ago when his family arrived here, and now that building is being used to temporarily house or shelter migrants, that means that migrants are getting government aid? What the that doesn't even make even a little bit of sense. Like that's not even remotely coherent.
Where they are actually being displaced from South Shore High School because they're using that as a source for housing illegals, giving away sneakers and baby formula that many people in that community couldn't access last year. So are illegal immigrants benefiting from the United States welfare state and government assistance? Absolutely they are. And
they're not. None of what Vivek just said was government welfare. Not a single thing.
I don't think that that's humane to the Americans who live here. I don't think it's humane to immigrants who are unable to lie. You know, I want to say this about immigration. We got two questions.
Can I say one? I
just want to make one point because it's a fact. The number one human attribute that our current immigration system rewards is not your ability to work hard. It's not your intelligence. It's not your love of this country. It's not whether you can speak English. The number one human attribute that our current immigration system rewards is your willingness to lie to the U.S. government. If you lie, you get in. If you don't lie...
That is definitely not true. Okay? That is definitely not true. If you lie to the U.S. government and it's found out that you have lied to the U.S. government, or that you've come here, even temporarily, and you give them any reason to suspect that you have committed some type of wrong here, that you're not being honest, the U.S. will turn you away immediately on the plane. I've seen it happen. I've seen people get off planes, get stopped, and they get sent right back because they don't pass that little interview thing, like business or pleasure, like that type of shit. So I mean, Vivek is actually like so fucking triggering. It's unbelievable.
If you say that, okay, well, I can't in good conscience tell you that I'm facing persecution to check the box of asylum. If you're an honest person, you're not rewarded. If you're a dishonest person, you are rewarded. So it is no accident that people whose first act of entering this country breaks the law and they lie while doing it tend to continue to commit more crimes while they're already here, which is happening.
Illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, actually commit less crime than native-born Americans. I'm pretty sure, like, by a pretty significant margin as well, if I remember correctly. But illegal immigrants are not committing crime at the rate that Republicans and Vivek would have you believe. Not at all. Why would they? It doesn't make any sense. They already have the fear that they are here undocumented and that they could be deported at any moment, especially under the Trump administration. And now they're going to go around committing crimes, drawing attention to themselves by law enforcement? How does that make any sense? What would be the point of coming here then? These people want to be here, and they want to protect the fact that they're here. They want to be fully contributing members to this society, but Vivek will never let them do that. He will never let them do that because Vivek is experiencing, honestly, what sadly many immigrants go through, and now he's trying to separate himself from them. He wants to separate himself from the immigrant status because he feels that if that's still attached to his identity in any way, it will make him less American, and he will never be accepted by the white people that he is so desperate for their approval. That is why Vivek is saying the shit that he's saying. That is why he's lying the way that he's lying right now.
I don't think those people should even be in a place to lie because we have sanctions on Venezuela and a lot of Venezuelans are going through hardship and they want to come here. And that's
not our job to take them. It's not our job to take them.
But we have sanctions on them. It's a direct result of our policy towards Venezuela.
Well, Venezuela's actually had effectively sanctions on the United States of America in the way they've actually treated us and deported.
What the did he just say Venezuela has had sanctions on the... Even if that were the case, who the fuck cares, bro? We're the U.S. We literally control, like, the world economy. Like, if some shit happens to us, it's like guaranteed that the whole world is pretty much going to fall apart in suit. Like, what is this guy talking about right now? Did he really just say, like, oh, well, what? You know what, let's... I don't want to misquote him.
Towards Venezuela.
Well, Venezuela's actually had effectively sanctions on the United States of America in the way they've actually treated us and deported their criminals to the U.S. without really.
Is there any evidence?
That's not what a sanction is. That's not what a sanction is. And I'm gonna need a source for the fact that they're sending the government is actually sending the criminals over here. I doubt that, but oh look at what I found here actually. Immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S.-born Americans, studies find. The murder of Laken Riley took center stage during Thursday night's State of the Union address. Riley was a 22-year-old student who was killed last month at the University of Georgia. The suspect in her murder is a Venezuelan migrant whom officials say was illegally in the U.S. During the Republican rebuttal, Riley's murder was brought up by Alabama Senator Katie Britt. She was brutally murdered by one of the millions of illegal border crossers President Biden chose to release into our homeland. Y'all, as a mom, I can't quit thinking about this. I mean, this could have been my daughter. This could have been yours. The claim that immigration brings on a crime wave can be tracked back to the first immigrants who arrived in the U.S. Ever since the 1980s and 90s, this false narrative saw a resurgence. During the current presidential campaign, the vitriol has been intense just in the last few months. Former President Donald Trump has spoken of immigrants and criminals immigrants as criminals and mentally ill people who are poisoning the blood of our country. Florida governor and former presidential candidate Ron DeSantis said migrants suspected of carrying drugs across the border should be shot, without specifying how drug smugglers could be told apart from other migrants. However, research indicates that immigrants commit less crimes than U.S.-born people. Much of the available data focuses on incarceration rates because that's where immigration status is recorded. Some of the most extensive research comes from Stanford University. Economist Ran Abramitsky found that since the 1960s, immigrants are 60% less likely to be incarcerated than U.S.-born people. There's also state-level research that shows similar results. Researchers at the Cato Institute, that's the right-wing think tank that I had sourced earlier in this video, a libertarian think tank, looked into Texas in 2019. They found that undocumented immigrants were 37.1 less likely to be convicted of a crime. Damn, Vivek. Why you lying, though?
So that the criminals coming over?
Absolutely.
But
Venezuelan criminals come to the United States over the last 4 years. Tens of thousands. Yeah.
Can I tell you a fact? An illegal immigrant is 60% less likely to commit a crime than a natural-born citizen, and that's a fact. If you look it up,
it's by definition.
I can look it up right now. I can look it up.
It's by definition untrue because the first act of entering this country was a crime. It broke the law right up.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not, dude. Just walking into the country in and of itself is not a crime. You're allowed to walk in and try to ask for asylum. That is a legal process that is available to. I mean, really, they're refugees, but like that is a legal process that is available to immigrants. What the fuck, dude? Like, I feel like I'm losing my mind right now.
In the first place, so 100% of illegal immigrants committed a crime.
I don't think those people should even be in a place to commit a crime because of our inhumane immigration policies.
So what would be your alternative for how you deal with somebody who enters the country illegally, breaks the law while they're here?
What should you actually do? I would just like to say I'm not advocating for an open border. No, I'm not.
So what do you want to do for somebody who entered this country illegally, is breaking the law while they're here? What should they do?
I think if you're working, which a lot of them are, we've 8 million illegal immigrants in the job force right now, and they are hard-working people. They are
true.
Well, that's why I think we should make the.
They actually, so I don't know if you guys were able to hear that in the background, but someone yelled like, "Oh, well, they don't pay taxes." Actually, illegal immigrants pay quite a bit in taxes. I hate to burst your bubble, buddy. I know that it's a lot easier to just believe that these people are here and like stealing your jobs but don't work and only live on welfare. It's like a very coherent and cogent you need me to open the jar? There you go. Yeah, of course. Completely forgot what I was saying.
Coherent jobs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Something about how this guy's fucking retarded. That's basically, the taxes thing. Yeah, here. How much do illegal immigrants pay in taxes? It's really sad that you can just kind of like look this shit up like really easily. And for some reason, Republicans just don't do it. I'm not entirely sure why. It's really, really, really confusing. Okay, oh my God, look at that. Oh God. Republicans just posting their L's just out there for everyone to see. Jesus Christ, this is embarrassing. Undocumented immigrants paid $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022. Most of that amount, $59.4 billion, was paid to the federal government, while the remaining $37.3 billion was paid to state and local governments. Undocumented immigrants paid federal, state, and local taxes of $8,889 per person in 2022. In other words, for every 1 million undocumented immigrants who reside in the country, public services receive $8.9 billion in additional tax revenue that, by the way, they cannot take advantage of because they are here undocumented. So once again, that whole bullshit about how there are illegal immigrants that are on Medicare is just a made-up fairy tale. It's a boogeyman created by Republicans to make you feel like the brown person who came here looking for a better life is somehow making your life worse, even though it's not. More than a third of the tax dollars paid by undocumented immigrants go toward payroll taxes dedicated to funding programs that these workers are barred from accessing. Wow, I literally just said that. Undocumented immigrants paid $25.7 billion in Social Security taxes, $6.4 billion in Medicare taxes, and $1.8 billion in unemployment insurance taxes in 2022. So there you have it, folks. I mean, like, look, you know what I should do? I should do a stream where we just learn about immigration and the economy, because I feel like that is a big reason why, that's like a big talking point for Republicans. That's a big, like one of their like fear points. And, that it's like, oh, here comes fucking Guillermo out to take your job. But he's also going to just live on welfare and do nothing with his life. So vote for me so I can build a wall with lasers and sharks. Like, that's basically like what Republican policy sounds like. But anyway, I think that we should actually go over this and learn about it in detail so we can start to dispel a lot of these just incorrect ideas that people have about immigration.
Them legal. If they're working, it will drive up wages for everyone.
Here's why I'm opposed to making them legal. You then have rewarded the incentives for the kind of thing that we don't want to see more of in this country. So here's my view.
Well, people
if you
who are
want to
working-
follow the rules and do it the right way, we respect you.
Sure.
If not, we will return you to your country of origin.
But they're trying to do it the right way already. They're looking for asylum. Like, come on, dude. And again, it doesn't even fucking matter because the Trump administration wants to cut down on legal immigration alongside illegal immigration. So, like, what's good, bro? Like, where are we starting from?
Origin, not because you're all bad people, but because you broke the law. And the United States of America is founded on the rule of law. That's where I land on it. And I think it's going to save our country for the long run. That's where I believe.
I just think we should invite...
I think that Vivek Ramaswamy is an idiot, and he didn't really say anything worthwhile or noteworthy that entire time, honestly. And it's really just disappointing. This is supposed to be someone who the right, heralded as some sort of like big brain person, someone who, would be able to match, the elite left-wing liberal academics. And to be quite honest, I'm underwhelmed. MAGA ain't sending their best. That's for sure.